on a picture we took many years ago. When I said to you we would never.
Before I start, I didn't get the recording of me making the GFX itself with Blender. So if you want to follow along, you'd have to know how to make a GFX. So if you don't know how to, there's like plenty of tutorials on YouTube, so you can follow one of those. But basically, the second step you would do is you would go to this website called Pixlr, which I'll leave a link down in the description box. Then you want to just press open image, then find your GFX that you made. Now, as you can see, my GFX has a transparent background, which means it's a PNG, but that's fine. If your GFX is like mine, all you have to do is just go to Google or whatever platform you use and find a picture. You can literally search whatever you want. I just decided to search for a vintage aesthetic, but you can literally go with whatever you want.
When we kissed for the first time in the back of your car, we passed out, coming started.
When you found a picture, just right click it, then press copy image, then just go back to Pixlr, and to paste the picture, just press Ctrl+V on your keyboard to paste it. And now you can just resize it if you want to make it however big or small you want it to be. Now, to get the background behind your GFX, you just want to go to the sidebar and make sure you're on the image layer and just drag it underneath the GFX so it looks something like that. Then you want to press adjustment and then highlights and shadows, and you can turn up the highlights or shadows however much you want, so you can turn it up or down depending on how bright or dark you want it to be.
I will keep you safe and sound after all this time.
And then I do want to blur the background a bit, so go to filter, details, and then press blur, and then you can turn up the amount however high or low you want it to be.
I don't know you, but I used to back then.
I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time in the back.
Now that you're done that, you want to add overlays. So go to the sidebar, press this plus button, and then press the image icon. Then you're going to want to find your overlays. Now you can make custom overlays or you can find some on Google. I usually do both. Kind of depends on what I can or can't make. To turn down the opacity, you can just go to the layer, press the 3 dots, and then from there you can just turn down the transparency. I'm going to speed this part up, but I'm just adding more overlays to the thumbnail.
Every day you're far away, these streets don't feel the same. Everywhere is painted with your name. I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time in the back of your car. We passed out, coming started.
If you do want to duplicate something, just right click on it and then you can just press duplicate layer, or another way is you can go to the layer, press the 3 dots, then just press these 2 squares overlapping each other, which also does the same thing by duplicating the layer.
I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time in the back of your car. We passed out, counting stars.
To add text, just go to the plus sign and then press the T icon, which means to add text, and then just type in whatever you want. You can also choose a font, and there's also a website called The Font, which you can choose whatever fonts from there to download, but I can also make a whole separate video on that for a tutorial if you want.
After all this time,
I found a picture we took many years ago. When I
To color the text, go to this white rectangle at the top, and then there's three options. A common way, like a common option is the gradient option, which just pretty much is two colors kind of faded together, so it kind of creates an ombre effect. So I just chose white and orange, and this is what it would look like. But you can also go for a solid color, which, like for an example, blue. It's pretty much self-explanatory, it's just solid. Or you can also add a pattern, which this one is basically you would choose a color. Let's say you wanted orange, and then you also want like let's say a polka dot pattern. As you can see, what it does is it like makes it transparent so you can't see the orange. So what you want to do is you want to pick a color, so let's go with orange. Then you want to duplicate your layer. When you've duplicated your layer, all you want to do now is make sure you're on a layer. It doesn't matter which one, but let's say you want to be on this one. Go to pattern and pick whatever pattern you want. I wanted to go with the polka dot one. You could change the scale or the direction, and then just make sure the polka dot one is on top of the orange text. So this is what it would look like. I hope that makes sense. Those are three ways to make your text, but for me, I just decided to go with a simple gradient text. Now you obviously want to add outline and shadows and stuff like that. So to do that, just duplicate your text and go to this three dots and press this little arrow button, which is just called merge down. Then go to the filters button, and then you have a whole bunch of options like inner glow, outer glow, outline, drop shadow, etc. First, I'm just going in with inner glow, which basically is like an inner outline. It gives like this shadow on the inside of your text, and it looks pretty nice.
and if I lost my mind, would you come around? I will keep you safe and sound. After all.
Now I'm just going to be adding drop shadow. This is pretty much the same thing. You just want to turn up the opacity, and then you can, I usually turn the blur all the way down to 0, and for the offset you can play around, it doesn't really matter. And for the color, I just decided to go for a dark orange.
I don't know you, I used to back then.
I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first.
Now I'm adding outline. Outline is just, I don't really know how to explain it, it's just an outline around the text, and I'm just going to be choosing white and turning down the opacity just a little bit. Then I'm adding outer glow. Outer glow is just kind of like a shadow around the whole text, and I decided to go for a light orange. To move the text around, just go to the left side of your computer, and there should be like a cursor icon, and just click that, and then now you can move your text wherever you want it to go. I'm going to speed this part up, but basically I'm just adding more text.
Every day you're far away, these streets don't feel the same. Everywhere is painted with your name. I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time. In the back of your car we passed out, counting stars. Promised all these years we'd pack our things and disappear. I never thought I would see you here after all this time.
When you're done with everything, you now want to save it. So go to the left side of your screen and press the file button, then press save. Then you want to save your work as a PNG, so press the PNG button, then name your work to whatever you want it to be called, and just press the download button. When you've pressed that, you'll see this thing pop up, which basically means it's downloading.
Replace you with somebody out there.
If I didn't chase you, would you even care?